So here's the thing, you want to get into PvP, but you don't want to gank in the open world because what if you gank a team member and then the whole team comes after you? And you don't really want to do arenas because that's, that's team stuff. You want to do 1v1 stuff. So Corrupted Dungeons is the perfect option for you. So look no further, here are the top 5 weapons and their builds in Corrupted Dungeons that are absolutely amazing and are sure to wreak havoc on your enemies. Before we get started with the video, however, I would like to ask you for one quick little favor. If you're not subscribed, please be sure to subscribe down below. And if you will like this video, then please leave a like. But with that, let's go on with the video. So in 5th place, we actually have my favorite weapon, but it still didn't make the cut to be top 3, the dual swords. Now the reason I love this weapon, even though as seen on the graph here, it's not that good, is because it's really active, so to speak. Like it has a lot of movement, it has a lot of pizzazz, so to say. And I love it, but it's still 5th place because it's not a good weapon. For the dual swords themselves, you're going to want to go with your first Q, your first W, in my opinion, some people say third W, but that's up to you, and your first passive. Now for the build itself, you're going to want to go with a hunter hood for your helmet with your third D, a mercenary jacket with your third R for your jacket, soldier boots with your second F for your boots, and a Thetford cape as the cherry on top. The most important thing about the dual swords is that you have to make sure that you have at least one heroic charge if you're going to use your first W to make sure that it does maximum damage. So in 4th place we have the Chillhowl. Now just to preface this, I personally would put this higher on the list, but according to the overwhelming player base, it's not that strong, but still strong enough to be top 5. For the Chillhowl itself, you're going to want to go with your first Q, your third W, and your 4th passive. For your helmet, you want to go with a Fiend Cowl with your second D. For your chest, you want to go with a Cultist Robe with your third R. And for your boots, you actually want to go with Soldier Boots with your second F. And for your cape, you want to go with a Limhurst cape. So what I've noticed is that early on, your second W can actually still be really useful, because right after your E circle hits and your enemy gets frozen, after they explode, you can press your W, and it's going to prevent them from getting really close to you and hitting all of their attacks. So it's still a really viable choice if you don't have your weapon level at 15 mastery. Now in 3rd place, getting the bronze medal, we have the Bloodletter. For your skills themselves, you're going to want to go with your second Q, your second W, and your first passive. Now in my humble opinion, I did not find the Bloodletter to be that good, but according to the majority of the player base, yet again, it is actually still really good and outmatches almost every weapon type in the game that is used for Corrupted Dungeons. Take a look at the graph here for yourself. Now for the gear itself, you're going to want to go with a Mercenary Hood with your D on 3 for your helmet, a Stalker Jacket with your R on 3 for your jacket, and Sandals of Purity for your boots with F on 3, and an Avalonian cape for the cherry on top. Now the Bloodletter's most important aspect is to get your enemies down to 40% HP, because that's where your E will shine, dealing loads of damage. And to do that, you're going to want to actually auto attack and use your Q as much as you can, as far as I can tell. I might be completely wrong, so let me know in the comments. In 2nd place, we have the god of ganking weapons, the double-bladed staff. Now just before I explain the build, I just want to say that this was the most fun I had with any weapon in this game so far, so I am going to be recommending this for a really, really long time, unless it gets changed or nerfed or whatever. For the double-bladed staff itself, you're going to want to go with your second Q, your first W, and your third passive. For the build itself, you're going to want to go with a Cultist Cowl with your third D for your helmet, a Stalker Jacket with your third R for your jacket, and Sandals of Purity with your second F for your boots with an Avalonian cake as a cherry on top. Now the reason I recommend your second F on the Sandals of Purity is because you're gonna actually notice that you're using a lot of energy and you're going to want to sort of replenish that pretty fast, and your Sandals of Purity second F is perfect for that. Now the reason I adore this weapon so much is most likely because of the E actually slowing the enemy and just letting you land every single one of your abilities, pressing your R, everything, and you just bring them down super quickly. And it is such a joy to play. But enough yapping, the weapon in the 1st place is, drumroll please, the Prowling Staff. Now this weapon was actually quite difficult for me to grasp at first, and that's because I got used to playing daggers and swords and everything like that, which was melee. And I had to realize that this is actually a hybrid weapon. The main aspect of this is to actually use your sort of staff abilities at first to gather some points for your cat form, and then use your cat form to pounce on the target with your W and press Q 3 times once your full bar is full. But after you do learn that mechanic, it is actually extremely rewarding, and it's just a really good weapon to use. I personally love playing it, maybe you will too. It definitely takes a while to actually learn and utilize it to its full potential. So for the Prowling Staff itself, you're going to want to go with your 4th Q if you're above tier 6, and your 1st Q if you're below tier 6, your 1st W, and your 2nd passive. For the build itself, you're going to want to go with a Fiend Cowl with your 2nd D for your helmet, a Mistwalker Jacket with your 3rd R for your chest piece, and Night Boots with your 2nd F for your boots, and an Undead Cape as the cherry on top. So then, in conclusion, the top 5 weapons are as follows. In 5th place, we have the Dual Swords. In 4th place, we have the Chillhowl. In 3rd place, we have the Bloodletter with a torch. In 2nd place, we have the Double-Bladed Staff. And in 1st place, we have the Prowling Staff. Now, all of these weapons are extremely special in their own way. My personal will probably have to be the Double-Bladed Staff, or maybe still the Dual Swords. I'm not gonna lie, the Dual Swords are still winning the game for me, but Double-Bladed Staff is definitely almost a replacement for it because I am in love with it. But honestly, it is literally up to you to find out, and it's up to you to play the game however you want. These are just the top 5 builds according to Murder Ledger. The stats I found are all from there. And yeah, so don't come yelling at me in the comments that I made this up. I didn't. I researched, I looked at Murder Ledger, I did everything that I possibly could. If you think that the builds themselves are a little bit different from what you expect is the meta, or what you think is the meta, or what you believe is the meta, then still let me know in the comments below, and I will try to apologize for them, and I'll try to fix that in my upcoming videos that I will eventually do in probably the later part of 2024 when Albion actually gets an update. What is actually really important is that Albion is coming out with a European server, so I am going to be live streaming my leveling journey and my leveling process on this European server as soon as it drops. I am hella excited, and I hope you guys are as well. But with that, this has been the top 5 best weapons for Corrupted Dungeons in Albion Online for the start of 2024 until we get another patch or buffs or nerfs or whatever. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and with that, I would like to say farewell. Like the video if you liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.